last event of day 2 at the paracycling track discipline here in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. And it is the final of the women's B1000 meter time trial. Hannah Chadwick. Well, her story is quite phenomenal. Born in China, she lived in an orphanage until the age of 12, and then was adopted by an American couple, and has not only achieved great things on the track and on the bicycle, but also in her studies, international relations. She went back to China to study Mandarin. First rider on the track in the paracycling track women's B1000 meter time trial, Hannah Chadwick, and her pilot is Skylar Espinoza. Looking to set the benchmark time in a final that involves 6 riders. Riding first is always a tricky thing to do. You don't have anything to go by except your own efforts here, and that's exactly what Hannah Chadwick's doing here. They'll come round to take the bell shortly. There it is, a lap to go.
What a powerful event, and it does come down to this last lap. You really need to hold the speed. It is so painful. 4 laps, full gas.
And they bring it to the line here. Hannah Chadwick will cross the line in a time of 1:10.187. And that is the benchmark time for Chadwick and her pilot, Skylar Espinoza. There's plenty of powerful riders to come, and Hannah Chadwick will now have to sit and watch and hope that her time stands up and perhaps be good enough for a medal. Huge power off the start and off the gate.
You can see both riders just using all of their upper body strength to get on top of that gear as fast as possible so they can get into the most aerodynamic position. Pedal in sync with the same size chain rings. However, the big chain ring connected to the rear cog is the ratio of gear that they are pushing. I think in many instances that gearing ratio would be changed between qualifying and finals, depending on the rider's feeling.
Yeah, it's a really tough day. They've ridden a pull-out qualifier to get into the final, and now I have to produce something special again in the final on the same day. Next onto the track, one of the all-time most successful Paralympians in Ireland. Lady George Dunlevy and Eve McChrystal, her pilot. on track as the second rider in the women's B 1 kilometer time trial final. It is Katie George Dunlevy and her sighted pilot Eve McChrystal. And the time they are seeking to beat right now is 1:10.187. They will perhaps want to go a lot faster than that in order to put themselves in touch of a medal here.
Yeah, they'll need to find 2 seconds extra from qualifying to find themselves, I think, in the medal contention. They've got a good start, they're in good rhythm, they're in a very aerodynamic position very quickly. They look like they're on a mission. They look beautiful on the bike.
They do. They've been riding together since 2013, so they know intrinsically what works on this bike, and they are a supreme combination. The bell.
The important lap, the final lap. Well, at the moment they are faster than Chadwick of the USA.
Endurance is their forte, and they can see it here. They've got stronger and stronger as this race continues, and they'll bring it home now. And it is the fastest time.
Well, Dunlevy brought back over half a second in the final lap. Just 1 lap. Quite impressive.
Well, we'll see them go in the longer distances and on the road, because they are a combination. Dunlevy won gold in the road race and individual time trial in Tokyo, and they'll be out to defend that title after the para-track program.
42 years of age, Katie George Dunlevy, and still riding super strong, finding herself in the final of the 1,000 meter women's B time trial.
Well, she won a world title in rowing back in 2004, backed it up the next year. So as a para rower, she perhaps thought she would be doing that here. Well, as we know, time and time again, rowers make sensational cyclists, and we see it again here from Katie George Dunlevy.
Yeah, amazing to have those 2 gold medals in the Paralympics from rowing. She was poached by a cycling coach, which often happens. They do hang around BMX tracks and triathlon and
regattas,
rowing regattas, and they approach these athletes and try to bring them over to cycling. Well, wave to the crowd from Katie George Dunlevy. She's done Ireland very proud here in Paris.
They'll perhaps know that their best chances of medals will come in the longer distances, but they've done their very best in the shorter distance over 1,000 meters here.
Please welcome our 13 on to the track. We've got individual pursuit para champion from Great Britain, Lora Fachie.
Already in individual pursuit, Paralympic champion Lora Fachie. 4 Paralympic medals. The third rider on track in the women's B 1,000 meter time trial final is Lora Fachie, the 35-year-old rider from Great Britain, a 4-time Paralympic medalist already. Her husband matches that total, and they are, as a family, a powerhouse team. But on track now, Lora Fachie is being piloted by her regular pilot, Corinne Hall, as they chase down the benchmark time of 1:09.447, and already they've dipped underneath that here of Katie George Dunlevy.
Well, they are absolutely flying, and they will need to find a couple of seconds faster than their qualifying ride to find themselves in the medals.
3 teams still to ride after this pair. So this is, yeah, they really have to put everything in here.
Well, it still amazes me that Lora Fachie of 26 only began paracycling in 2020. So relatively new to the sport, and at the top of the leaderboard Very impressive.
Very, very good time, 109.181. Will it be enough for a medal? Will it be enough for a medal? Probably not. But they did their very best again. Perhaps the strength of this combination is endurance, but they brought their best in the shorter distances here. Well, their brother Roy played football at the Paralympics in London. Another brother played cricket, line cricket for Great Britain. They're a talented family.
Oh, you can see the power put through the pedals to get on top of that gear. They really did give everything they've got. Interestingly, they're one of the duos that are not using the development of the Hope bike, given that they need the tandem to be so reinforced in so many different areas for two very strong riders, putting out over 3,000 watts out of the gate. No doubt it'll only be a period of time before we see the aerodynamics incorporated into the tandem bikes. Lora Fachie of Great Britain, 26 years old, loved by the crowd, loved by the fans.
Well, now mother, of course, as well. Fraser, Neil's son.
Yeah, it's becoming so common, isn't it, for female athletes not to limit themselves to finishing their career before they give birth. And also knowing that scientifically it's been proven to make you even stronger as an athlete. Obviously, a lot of other things come into play in combination with that hormonal change. What an exciting crowd we have here tonight in the velodrome.
Well, there's no doubting which nation they're supporting, even if you put the flag away. Wonderful, wonderful to see. So many have made the effort to travel across the world to get here to Paris and support these athletes. Well, they've still, Great Britain, got two riders to race here in this final. So there's a distinct possibility of a clean sweep of medals here. It will perhaps be a little tough, bearing in mind that Jessica Gallagher's in the field, and she is the Australian who sits in between Sophie Unwin and Lizzie Jordan in terms of the order of racing. So she'll want to change that, I suspect. There's the young Fachie, fantastic, wonderful, wonderful family environment. Cannot be anything more healthy than bringing the family into a sporting environment like this.
We move on to heat number 4 of the 6 and decide the gold medal in this 1,000 metre time trial. We welcome onto the track, one person to the individual pursuit in Tokyo. From Great Britain, Sophie Unwin with her pilot Jenny Hall.
A huge roar from the crowd for Sophie Unwin. She'll be expecting a medal performance here. If everything goes to plan, everything goes well, that will be her plan. The 30-year-old from Great Britain. First rode a tandem bike in 2020.
The fourth rider on track in the women's B 1,000 metre time trial is Great Britain's Sophie Unwin, one of 3 Great Britain riders in a 6-rider field in the final. And already Unwin is up on the time set by her countrywoman Lora Fachie. It is likely to be a very fast time, this Unwin and pilot Jenny Hall posting the fastest time over the first lap.
Well, I believe in Sophie Unwin for a medal. It's just a matter of what colour as they come around for a couple of laps to go. It's a brutal, brutal event, 4 laps around the velodrome.
Lora Unwin gives at least Lora Fachie gives an interview. Right behind her, Sophie Unwin is consigning her to perhaps outside the medals, because this is the final lap, just under a second ahead of Lora Fachie's time. Sophie Unwin is going to ride herself into medal place here at Paris. Over a second now. Sophie Unwin surging to the line for Great Britain. They'll cross the line, she and her pilot Jenny Hole, and they will go into a medal position at 107.879. And we will count it down, because there are still 2 riders to come. So what will it be? Gold, silver or bronze? So Lora Fachie outside the medals in this discipline.
Well, that shows the professionalism of Unwin, being able to recover and back up for a time equally as fast as a qualifying time. Sophie Unwin, well, she's just won herself a medal at the Paralympic Games here in Paris. It's a waiting game now to know what colour that will be, as she stands on top of the leaderboard with 2 riders left to compete in the final.
Well, the start again, just that massive surge of power, and then getting into rhythm and getting into position, and then finishing it off.
Sophie Unwin explained that when she was talent ID chosen by Great Britain, she was told she's not exactly a sprinter or an endurance rider, but she'd be very well suited to the tandem 1,000 metre time trial, and that she is. She may, well, she will bring home a medal for Great Britain. There's no doubt in that.
So Unwin in the virtual gold medal at the moment, because she has the fastest time, but there are 2 riders still to come. Just Gallagher and Lizzie Jordan.
Well, Sophie Unwin says that the highlight of her career was winning the Tandem B road race at the 2021 World Championships in Portugal, showing that she has extreme endurance about her, and perhaps another medal chance at the Paris Paralympic Games.
Well, they've done everything possible here, Unwin and her pilot Jenny Hole, and they now must sit and watch. Jessica Gallagher will take to the track, the 38-year-old Australian, and Caitlin Ward is her pilot. Well, it really is. They know that they just have to produce their very best here to be in the medals. Second fastest qualifiers. Here they come. It is Jessica Gallagher. Well, no, they won't. Not quite yet. And just smiling alongside them, Lizzie Jordan and Danny Kahn, who are the other nation who could upset Gallagher's hopes of a medal, of a gold medal here. Joining the party, Jessica Gallagher and Caitlin Ward for Australia. Second last rider in the final of the B 1,000 metre time trial. For visually impaired riders. The visually impaired rider is the stoker behind the sighted pilot. And this is the second last team. Stakes are high. the gates go the Australian combination, Jessica Gallagher and her pilot, Caitlin Ward, now setting out to try and chase down a silver or gold medal at best. 1:07.879 is the benchmark time set by Great Britain's Sophie Unwin. Can Gallagher go faster than that?
Well, she's looking faster than Unwin at this point, which would mean a gold or silver. 1 lap in, 1.5 lap in, coming up to 2 laps with a second advantage over Unwin. This is looking good for the Australian Gallagher.
That's a very good start. Put a second in so early on. Anxious from the centre of the track of the Australian coaches. The bell for Jessica Gallagher, driving for the line now to try and upset Sophie Unwin and put her down into at least bronze medal. Gallagher driving for the line.
Half a lap to go and really digging deep, because losing a little bit of time as they throw for the line. It is the fastest so far. This means at worst a silver. Could it be gold?
Well, it's 0.346 seconds faster than Sophie Unwin's time. Good enough for the fastest time right now. Gallagher celebrating and thanking the crowd here for their support. So they sit in the gold medal position right now. Australia, Jessica Gallagher and pilot Caitlin Ward.
However, they're still just half a second slower than the qualifying time of the team left to compete from Great Britain, the rider Elizabeth Jordan. But look at this. They look absolutely amazing. 26 years of age, Jessica Gallagher. And she became a bit of a household name in Australia, being the first female athlete representing Australia at the Paralympic Winter Games, when she claimed a bronze medal in the visually impaired slalom alpine skiing event at the 2010 Games in Vancouver. So a household name already, and will deliver a silver or gold medal here from the Paris Paralympic Games.
Well, smiles of delight, and they know they've done their very best today, and that is all they can ask for. Put themselves in the frame for a gold medal. Silver is certain, could be gold. Anxious moments now. One rider to take to the track. Lizzie Jordan on her debut at the Paralympic Games. What a moment.
Oh, Gallagher absolutely exhausted. That was everything. And that is Shane Perkins, the head coach of the Australian Paralympic team, and a phenomenal cyclist in his own right with many, many fantastic achievements. Let's see the two celebrate the silver or gold medal. There's Berthie May. She has been over 20 years the soigneur who looks after the Australian riders. Oh, nerves on the faces. No need for the nerves, in my opinion. They know they've got what it takes to win the gold medal. Great British team. They've proven they can ride second faster than these two. Oh, Berthie May there just giving support in some very, very lactic acid-filled legs. Oh, Jessica Gallagher of Australia. Oh, a nervous crowd.
Yeah, that's for sure. If the riders are nervous, certainly those in the crowd are. This is tense time indeed for the supporters of Great Britain. They have at least one medal in the form of Sophie Unwin. And, well, in fact, they have two guaranteed, because if it's not Lizzie Jordan, if things fall apart for them here, then Lora Fachie's in third place as it stands now. So Danny Kahn is the pilot for Lizzie Jordan. the 26-year-old who was a sensation at the World Championships this year with 3 gold medals. The final rider on track in the women's B 1,000-meter time trial, and it is gold for Jordan as she chases that beautiful medal. But she and her pilot Danny Khan will have to really empty the tank here. They're nearly a second down early on.
You could see that they struggled out of the gate. They really did have a bit of an issue there that really cost them, because over the first half a lap, they're already 9/10 of a second down. They'll bring it back a little bit, but can they bring it back to a gold medal? They are 7/10 of a second down.
Yeah, it's a short race. Yeah, they brought it back again down to...
They're flying.
Yep, they're bringing it back well here. This is the key race. This is the moment that will determine the outcome of this gold medal. They are going to bring it back here. There's the bell, the final lap for Lizzie Jordan. And she chases the gold medal. They are in the lead now. They've got the gold medal in their legs now. Can they finish it off here in Paris at the Paralympic Games? A maiden Paralympic Games for Lizzie Jordan. A little sway there. They're going to finish it off here. Gallagher is going to be pushed into bronze, silver. It is Jordan and Great Britain who take the gold medal in the women's B 1 kilometre time trial. What a start to a Paralympic career for Elizabeth Jordan and her pilot Danny Khan as they take the gold medal. A sensational ride after a difficult start. They had to dig so deep and bring it back, and bring it back they did. They were nearly a second behind Gallagher after a lap, but they finished it off by finishing half a second ahead of the Australian Jessica Gallagher to put Great Britain on the top step of the podium. Wow, what a ride by Lizzie Jordan.
Incredible. 26 years of age, only started paracycling in 2020, first Paralympic Games, and a gold medal for Elizabeth Jordan of Great Britain. Well, I must say, I've spent years training with Danielle Khan, who is the pilot in Mallorca, Spain. She's a talent herself, but it's all about the communication between the pilot and the stoker, which is the visually impaired rider on the back, Elizabeth Jordan. Well, the performance can only be as good as the stoker and what she's capable of. And it's all combined with obviously the equipment, the training and the communication between the pilot and the stoker. So Jessica Gallagher settles for a silver medal.
Yeah, you could. It did look like she was settling it. She wasn't entirely delighted, was she? She had high hopes that her time would be good enough for the gold, but half a second.
Can you imagine? It's a 4-lap race, and after 1 lap, Australia's Jessica Gallagher is leading by nearly 1 second. She must have had high hopes at that point, and within less than a minute, it all changes. It all turns around, and what an unbelievable ride by Lizzie Jordan.
Yeah, credit to Lizzie Jordan here. They knew they had to dig very, very deep, and they brought it home in amazing fashion. Yeah, that's the excitement bubbling over in the center of the track, because that was no easy ride. They had to dig deeper perhaps than at any stage, and yep, they resigned a look on the face, but applause from Gallagher. Well, moments of sheer joy.
Yeah, taking it all in, not quite comprehending what's been achieved as the teammates now who took the bronze medal.
Lizzie Jordan, the latest in an extended line of debutante medalists here at the Paralympic Games, and another in the long line of Great Britain stars. Unwin and Hall take the bronze. And that's the congratulations. And at 4th place, no medal for Lora Fachie.
It gives me goosebumps to see teammates celebrating together, knowing how many hours they spend together as teammates, but then competitors. Well, here are the 2 pilots and the 2 stokers celebrating gold and bronze here at the Paralympics. And this will be a photo to be treasured.
Well, moments of your life.
There's Danny Khan, one of the pilots. She takes home a gold medal with Lizzie Jordan.
Well, that was the last race of what has been a momentous day in the velodrome here. As we celebrate the achievements of the medalists, we have 2 more victory ceremonies that will follow very shortly. Confirming the result there of Lizzie Jordan's win in the women's speed 1K time trial with her pilot Danny Khan. Ahead of Jessica Gallagher by half a second. And Sophie Unwin takes the bronze medal.
We're nearly ready for our victory ceremony, but in the meantime, let's have some fun. It is Friday afternoon. Let's enjoy some karaoke. Join us on the screens, sing along and have some fun. This is your confirmed in the shoppies that come off. persons.
Celebrating the achievements of the medalists in the 3K individual pursuit C3.
Please welcome the medalists.
Well, he's familiar with that position.
The medals will be presented by
Monsieur Tom Nicholson, ancien membre du conseil d'administration du Comité international paralympique.
former governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee. Accompanied by
Monsieur Fred Johnson, membre de l'ordre paralympique.
member of the Paralympic Order.
Médaillé de bronze, représentant le Canada.
Bronze medalist representing Canada, Alexandra Hayward.
Well, what a moment for this 27-year-old who, during COVID, won himself a mountain bike race and caught the attention of Canada's para-track program. And here he is, a couple of years later on the podium. From Bromont in Canada, the heart of mountain biking in Canada, he is now a para-track bronze medalist, Alexandra Hayward. And the way he's ridden in this discipline suggests that there are many, many more to come from this young talent.
Médaillé d'argent, représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Silver medalist representing Great Britain, Finley Graham.
A fourth medal for Finley Graham in the Paralympic cycling. Silver in Tokyo in this very event, and on the road, silver in the road race, beg your pardon, he was fourth in the individual time trial, so a third medal for Finley Graham. Another man who found mountain biking a pastime that he really enjoyed in Glentrass.
Médaillé d'or et champion paralympique, représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Great Britain, Chenko van Glas.
Well, 20 years ago, he left his hometown of Middelburg in South Africa. A little uncertain of his future, but certain that he was going to do something special. And look at him now. Jaco van Glas of Great Britain. Another gold medal around his neck at the Paralympic Games. A third gold and a fourth medal for Jaco van Glas, the 38-year-old. Unequivocally the best in this discipline.
Mesdames et messieurs, si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne de la Grande-Bretagne.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you are able for the anthem of Great Britain.
Well, a moment to savour for Jaco van Gaas, Finn Graham and Alexandra Hayward as they stand on the podium at the Paralympic Games here in Paris. Jaco's wife on the right there, Catherine. We'll add that to the album of great achievements for this young man. "12 laps of the track." It is brutally hard, but to do it twice in a day at your absolute limit and emerge at the very top takes athletes of the most extraordinary dedication, talent and skill, of which these three have it in abundance. As you were in Tokyo, at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games, the same two on the top two steps of the podium. And Hayward, you feel the talent he's shown will be there as well in the future.
1,000 meters time trial.
The last of the victory ceremonies of day 2 at the Paralympic Games para-track program today. And it is celebrating the achievements of the women's B 1,000 meter time trial.
The medals will be presented by
Madame River, membre du comité directeur de l'Union cycliste internationale.
UCI Management Committee member. Accompanied by
Monsieur Beth membre de l'ordre paralympique.
member of the Paralympic Order.
Médaillé de bronze, représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Bronze medalists representing Great Britain, Sophie, Unwin and pilot Jenny Hall.
Many times world champions, and now 3 times bronze medalist medalist at the Paralympic Games. A road race silver for Sophie Unwin in Tokyo, and a bronze in the 3,000 meter individual pursuit in Tokyo. However, this 1,000 meter time trial, an improvement on their 5th place in Tokyo, finishing in 3rd.
Médaillé d'argent, représentant l'Australie.
Silver medalists representing Australia, Jessica Gallagher and pilot Caitlin Ward.
Well, you can see the delight on the face of Jessica Gallagher. Active in the para-rowing front. She was 4th at the World Championships last year in the Cox 4 PR3 mixed 4. And started off life as a para-athlete. Went to London as an athlete. Won a long jump silver medal in the World Championships, not at the Paralympics back in 2011. But this surely a delightful moment. Having picked up bronze in Rio in 2016, it is silver for Jessica Gallagher and her pilot Caitlin Ward.
Médaillé d'or et championne paralympique, représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Gold medalists and Paralympic champions representing Great Britain, Lizzie Jordan and pilot Danny Khan.
Well, you could sense that they were letting that sink in. Lizzie Jordan and Danny Khan. Absolutely amazing performance. Lizzie Jordan's first Paralympic Games. She swept to 3 gold medals at the World Championships in March in Rio de Janeiro. And now has, well, reached the very summit of it all at the Paralympic Games alongside Danny Khan. Well, big cheer for Lizzie Jordan and Danny Khan. It is a partnership It is a friendship. It's a team.
Mesdames et messieurs, si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne de la Grande-Bretagne.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand, if you are able, for the anthem of Great Britain.
Well, the emotion overflowing for Danny Khan. As Great Britain pick up gold and bronze, in between them Australia through Jessica Gallagher and the pilot Caitlin Ward, the silver medal. The medalists in our last race of the second day of action in the velodrome in Paris at the paracycling track. Great Britain, Lizzie Jordan in her very first Paralympic Games. What a joy. Smiling faces, all of them. Medalists in the Paralympic Games. Yes, it's been a good day for Great Britain. It's been a good day for para-track cycling here. World records and gold medals for 3 nations. Australia and Great Britain picking up 2 each. And a raucous and rousing gold for the host nation, France, as well, through Alexandre Louette. So really a sense of real celebration, achievement and appreciation here at the velodrome. Well, today in the velodrome, we've seen medals decided in the men's C4 5,000 meter time trial. And over the individual pursuit over 3 kilometers, women's C4, men's C2 and men's C3. And now the 1,000 meter time trial for women. On a day of rich entertainment and great celebration it has been. We're halfway through the para-track cycling program. And we've had 9 of the 17 medals decided. As the venue empties, spectators will carry great memories of a wonderful day in the Saint-Quentin en Yvelines velodrome, of wonderful athletic performance and great achievements by all these athletes. Well, 3 titles were successfully defended. 2 new champions as well were crowned here on day 2 at the Paratrack cycling program. And medals have been won, 2 for Great Britain, Australia, China, Netherlands, and 1 for France in terms of gold medals, with Great Britain collecting 8 medals thus far, 3 each for Australia, China, 2 each from the Netherlands and France. 3 for Canada, all of those in the bronze medals. So another day of fantastic para-track cycling. We've got 4 more finals preceded by the qualifying on day 3 of action in the velodrome. It's going to be another day full of drama, no doubt a few records as well, and at the end of it, medals for the victors.
attention now to the women's C4 3000. We welcome from Canada, Alexandra. Sophie Unwin into that air. Go. Sophie celebrating on the far side of the track. We'll bring you the victory ceremony in a few minutes' time.
Restez bien.